is Dean Thompson, and welcome to another Escape to Gaming. Today I kind of want to bring my first episode of the 2013, having a look at some of the games that I'm looking forward to the most coming up this new year. Now last year was great. We had many great games, and the year before too also. I'm still working on 4 or 5 games right now currently that I haven't finished up. Far Cry 3, I put in 9 hours last night, just a marathon virtually, taking pirate stations and taking everything in sight, finding relics and old letters, and it's great. I like to level up before I really, roll my sleeves up on a lot of the levels. So I'm having a lot of fun with Far Cry 3, Hitman Absolution I'm still working on. I still need to finish actually Black Ops 2 as well, and Dishonored I have. So I'm working on those, but it's been a great year. Many favorite games that I had, and you can see on my other show that I did of my favorite games of 2012. But this is about what's coming in the future. I'm very excited. We could all go broke probably by the end of next year with all the stuff coming out. So I wanted to run down some of the games that I've uncovered. Now I've counted, believe it or not, close between 50 and 60 new games coming out. Many are AAA games, some are indie and Xbox Live Arcade games, and a couple PC games, but it's going to be a fantastic year. So I kind of looked at this massive list, and I can only afford so much. I said, well, what can I realistically, look at getting and, pre-ordering? So this is the list of my top 10, and then I have a few others that I'm kind of sitting on the fence and waiting to see what happens with them. So I'm going to go down the list. The first one, which I pre-ordered actually months ago, is Aliens Colonial Marines by Sega. It looks fantastic. Now, I've been playing, actually, Aliens back from the late 80s on the Commodore 64, and really enjoyed it then. And it's kind of gone through various stages of mechanics and gameplay. I'm not real thrilled with the Alien vs. Predator one, but it did some interesting things which actually made it interesting. But this new one looks really good, and even the Wii U version, where you can actually you have a little handheld tablet that you can use as your motion tracker, is an exceptional gimmick. I would almost virtually get the Wii U version just to play this Aliens Colonial Marines, which is in the works along with all the games I want to get. I'm anxious to get the Wii U and try the Zombie U and some of the other games out as well. So this Aliens Colonial Marines is actually, it's a continuation in the story from where the movie left off back in Alien. So I'm very excited with the free licensing they got for the story, the fantastic original sounds, music and sound score, and a lot of the audio in it as well will be taken right from 20th Century Fox in the movies. Very excited about that. I actually ordered the collector's edition. It comes a little statuette of Ripley, fighting, I think it's a big skip loader thing that they had in the end of Aliens. So I'm really pumped about that. Next, of course, is GTA 5. I mean, Rockstar every year comes out with what seems to be a masterpiece. If it's not Red Dead Redemption or L.A. Noire, it's something else. And this last year was Max Payne 3, which really kind of surprised me. I was very pleased. As a huge Max Payne fan. So, Grand Theft Auto 5, I think, is going to be enormous. The maps look huge. The detail into the environments and what you can do is really perhaps a quantum leap from even Grand Theft Auto 4. So needless to say, I'm very excited about Grand Theft Auto 5. Battlefield 4. I love Battlefield 3. I love the attention to detail, the graphics, the sound design is impeccable. It's a fantastic game. So needless to say, I'm very happy about getting my hands on Battlefield 4. I think it'll be a fun game. I mean, everyone has their opinion as to whether Call of Duty or Battlefield is a better multiplayer. They both have advantages, and they both are extremely smooth and well liked by both camps. But this one in particular I'm looking forward to. If they do come out with another Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare series, I certainly would be interested in that as well. Crysis 3. I can't get enough screenshots and videos on this. Just incredible graphics. I just can't believe how advanced the graphics look in this game. It's a fantastic new addition to the Crysis series, which is kind of a hybrid first-person shooter. It's got some interesting things in it which I like, kind of like they did in Singularity and Wolfenstein. They kind of introduced some other elements and stealth-type elements to it, and some really cool weapons in Aliens. So that one's I'm excited about. Now the game Metro 2033 was also another early favorite of mine. I've only started to play it. I just picked it up dirt cheap this last summer, but it looks really good, and I can't believe what I'm seeing on this new Metro Last Light. So I hope THQ is going to work out their differences. I don't know if Bethesda or someone else is going to pick up the licensing of this game or not. I'm not sure. but I really want to see this game materialize. It looks very good, so I'm very anxious to get my hands on Metro Last Light. It looks like a really immersive, kind of a nice, it's a great, based off a book, it's a really good story, and it really captures the spirit of this futuristic, kind of a dystopian future. So very anxious for Metro Last Light. Splinter Cell Blacklist. I'm actually kind of new to some of the Splinter Cell games. I had Chaos Theory, which I had downloaded off from Xbox Live Arcade a while back and enjoyed it. And then recently I got Double Agent and Conviction, which I like as well. But this new one looks really good. I'm very anxious to try this new Splinter Cell Blacklist. I mean, everything from Ubisoft has been so great lately, so I'm very anxious to see what they do with this new Splinter Cell. Another game which kind of controversial, people either love it or hate it, is Dead Island. Now, I pre-ordered Dead Island when it came out and loved the game. I think it has a tremendous amount of game bugs and glitches, and my nephew had, you know, an insane amount of hours at 85% completion, and then he had a game save file corruption and lost, I mean, an incredible amount of hours in it. After that, it put a bad taste in my mouth, and I stopped playing the game myself, but I love the concept of it. I wish it had a little bit more gunplay, but I like what they did with it. Just the freedom, kind of like Far Cry 3, actually. Big, beautiful, lush open world, go anywhere you want. They captured kind of the spirit and the essence of the zombie apocalypse really well. I like it. And I had no issues, frankly, with the story or the characters or a lot of the side quests within. I thought it was quite cool. So this new Dead Island Riptide, I think they introduced a new additional character, but I like where it's going. I think it's a great franchise. I'm anxious to see more of it. It definitely is going to be on my list of games to get this year. Gears of War Judgment. What can I say? If you have an Xbox 360, you got to get it. I can't believe how gorgeous Gears of War 3 was, and then the new trailers for Judgment look fantastic. I can't wait to get my meat hooks on Gears of War Judgment. I think it's going to be a real masterpiece and a crowning jewel for anyone that has an Xbox 360. We've all seen really cool trailers and stuff on this new Last of Us exclusive for the PlayStation 3. I can't tell you how excited I am about that as well. I mean, everything I've seen from the makers of Uncharted, these are a development studio that puts a tremendous amount of detail into everything that they develop. The Uncharted games, which I played the first two of, I haven't played the third one yet, but they're fantastic. I mean, one of the finest. If you had no other reason to get a PS3, I'd get it just for Uncharted or Twisted Metal or even Killzone. I mean, they're actually all wonderful exclusives. But I have a feeling this is going to really be a return to survival horror, which I'm quite excited about. I mean, nothing gets me pumped more than the very first Resident Evil, early Manhunt games. Cold Fear was another one that I loved on the original Xbox. I like any of these kind of survival horror type games, and this has a new twist. It seems to be grounded in a little bit more realism, kind of follows some of the dynamics that they had in this Walking Dead episodic game that just came out recently that everyone is just highly acclaimed, which it looks good. In fact, that's also on my list from last year. So I'm very excited about The Last of Us. It looks like they're touching on a lot of human and personal elements, which I think is really needed today in games. So I'm very pumped about that. And then finally, I haven't seen as much as I'd like to see on it, but is this new game, Watch Dogs. I'm really happy with Syndicate, and a lot of these games that have kind of looking at the future, some of them are kind of a negative, almost a dystopian view of the future, but I kind of like, there's always something positive that you can derive out of it, so helps you to appreciate what you have in real life today. So I think it'll be a very immersive, futuristic, kind of a modern, contemporary setting with what could be coming in the way of, a lot of the whole Big Brother thing. Everyone's kind of being watched, and you can control through the rationale of, averting terrorism or potential problems with, computer systems getting hacked and what have you. It looks very fascinating. I'm very, very intrigued with Watch Dogs. Now, there's 5 other games I'm kind of sitting on the fence, but I'll just mention them quickly in passing, and these ones could quickly also become on my list, and that would be BioShock Infinite. Gorgeous art design in that, and it looks very interesting, so I'm anxious to see where that's going. Sniper Ghost Warrior 2. I haven't played the first one. It kind of got mixed reviews, but I love sniping games like Sniper Elite V2, and it does look very good. Tomb Raider. I really like the direction this new Tomb Raider is going, and I think it could be really cool. It's going to be more of a gritty, realistic view of the Tomb Raider series, so I'm kind of keeping my eye on that one as well. Rainbow Six Patriot is another one that I'm very anxious to kind of see where that's going. It looks very good. And I haven't played any of the other Rainbow Six games, but this one is really intriguing. I'm kind of going to keep my eye on it. And the other one, which I haven't heard too much about since the new XCOM Enemy Unknown came out, is the original first-person shooter that they were actually developing, which was going to be called XCOM. And it's kind of a early 60s look at an alien invasion and everything that's going to ensue after that, and this kind of this nebulous blob thing that kind of absorbs and takes over everyone. So it's very interesting to see what's going to, frankly, come of that. I really hope to see that in development. And it's kind of like Syndicate. It didn't bother me to see them take it to a quantum leap to another level and deviate from what Syndicate was back in the day, which I enjoyed. But I'm always willing to, I'm open-minded to see new things. I'm not so married to my own opinions and how it was back in the 80s or 90s that it has to be that way today. So I kind of want to, I hope that they'll finish XCOM. And then, of course, like I said, there's many other wonderful games. If you think of any that you're really looking forward to, if you want to leave a comment about them, I'd be happy to, to actually look into them. One of my favorite hobbies is to watch YouTube videos of coming gaming trailers and kind of previews on what's coming. And certainly, things like E3, which are just fascinating. I mean, I can never get enough of E3 and kind of see what's coming out. And then also, I think for 2013, we may have one or two new consoles to look forward to. I'm really intrigued with what could be coming with this new Xbox 360 incarnation, the 720 or Durango or whatever, or just Xbox. I don't know exactly what it's going to be called, but I'm a big fan. I actually was a die-hard PlayStation fan and swore I'd never touch an Xbox, and then they came out with a couple Xbox exclusives. I couldn't resist, and once I tried that, I like Xbox. So I like both. I like the PlayStation and the Xbox, and I'm certainly going to be getting a Wii U this year. I'm very excited about the games that they've done on the Wii U. I never really was tempted to buy a Wii, but this Wii U looks really good. So I think it's going to be a great year, and I think we're going to probably have a relatively decent dry spell in the summer months, which we can go back and pick up those games from last year, probably, really cheap, and enjoy some of those and kind of finish up some of the games that kind of segued into the early part of this year. So I think it's going to be a wonderful year of games. I'm very excited. I want to bring you more of these, kind of my gaming feelings, impressions, and reflections on games. Again, I'm going to be touching on my, my time back in the 80s and 90s with gaming in the 2000s. Lots of personal stories. Lots of personal insights as an older gamer. It's kind of been around the planet for quite a while and kind of seen the whole transformation of gaming. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Dean Thompson. I really appreciate all of your support. If you like the channel and want to support it, by all means support it. I really appreciate you taking the time out of, there's so many other videos you can watch. It means a lot to me that you're taking the time to watch mine. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful, happy new year for 2013, and just enjoy your games. They really are awesome. It's a great year that we're living in nowadays with these games today. Thank you so much.